Hey guys, it's about beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. We got us a great big bottle here. This is from Karbach Brewing. They're down in Texas. This is their bourbon barrel Hellfighter with espresso, brewed with coffee. This was sent to me by Brandon C. down in Texas. A very nice label on this one. Imperial Porter, aged in bourbon barrels with coffee added. And we'll see how much coffee is remaining in the beer. A lot of times these breweries put coffee beers in bourbon barrels and the coffee fades big time while it's in the barrels. So we'll see how much coffee is still left on this. And he has taped a little more information here. It says this is release number 8, BBH with espresso. 40% Jack Daniel barrels, 35% Woodford Reserve barrels, and 25% Heaven Hill. So they blended this from different barrels. 11.5 ABV, and released in October 2017 according to what he has got taped on the back of the bottle. Karbach does some pretty tasty stuff. They were bought out, so hopefully they'll retain some influence on what they're brewing and not be told what to brew or how to brew it or anything like that. A lot of times these guys still are able to brew what they like, and a lot of times they're not. So he is my source for some of the Karbach Brewing because I can't get them here. He seems to be a big fan of them, and they do some tasty stuff, guys. I will say that. So hopefully they'll be able to regain control or maintain control now that they've been bought out. So we shall see. We're going to get this thing popped open in just a second. I did tell you about the ABV being 11.5%. I don't have the IBUs listed anywhere. A lot of times these guys want to keep that kind of information secret, but he does tell me it's a 2017 edition. So that is it. I don't have a commercial description, so let's pop the top on this big 22-ounce bomber here. Enough to share, which I intend to do. Nice hiss. Nice hiss on the opening. Into the glass we go, and while I pour this, guys, I will tell you the cuisine is barbecue, cheese is buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss, general chocolate, dessert, meat is beef, smoked meat, and grilled meat. Glassware, pint, becker, tumbler, mug, stein, Seidel. I'm using my favorite tulip glass, a solid beer glass. It says here not recommended for extending cellar range unless the ABV extends average range. The ABV extends average range, but it's got coffee added. So we'll see how much coffee is left. About 1/8 of an inch of head on that pour. And this is considered a porter, guys, an American porter, but it is pretty dark. Not getting a whole lot of light down here through the thin part of the glass. Maybe just a slight hint of some red ribbiness there. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt, molasses. I am getting just a hint of some coffee. Maybe some bittersweet chocolate. And definitely getting the bourbon notes from all the different barrels they put this beer in and blended them together. It smells pretty good. It really does. Getting some nice bourbon notes on there. So, final beer of the evening for me. So let's dive in and see what we have. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Thank you, my brother. Got a wonderful smell. Very nice. Very, very nice. A hint of some of the oak woodiness, maybe a slight twinge of vanilla and coconut in there. Nice bourbon notes, rich roasted malt. Very tasty, some molasses. That's very delicious, guys. It really is. I'm pleasantly surprised by how much coffee's still left. Now, the coffee's not off the chain. I mean, I'm sure it would have had more coffee smell, aroma, and taste had it not been put into bourbon barrels, but we wouldn't have got any of the bourbon taste or aromas if it had not. So it seems like we've got just enough coffee to make it pleasant. Nothing seems to be overpowering anything else. Seems to be a well-blended, well-made beer. Alcohol super well hidden for 11.5%. I think that's what this is. Yep, 11.5%. Untapped has it at 12.5%. So that's incorrect. And this is a 2017 edition. Is what Untapped has it at. Beer Advocate has it at 11.5%. So they've got it right. This is a 2017 edition, and it's not 12.5%. That's a full percent lower than that, 11.5%. So, don't know where they're getting their information from, but it's not quite that big. But it seems to be fairly well made, guys. So, this is a great candidate to fire up a stogie and sip on this, let it come up to room temperature and see what we end up with. And that's what I intend to do. We're going to pour her a glass of this and sip on it for a while. Step out on the deck and get that stogie going. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. The espresso notes, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, the coffee is there, but it's not espresso off the chain like typical espresso coffee is going to be. It has faded, being in the bourbon barrels, and that happens quite often. There are some that still do a bourbon barrel version of coffee beers, and you still get a big coffee off the chain, but this one, it's kind of subdued to me, guys. It's not that big, bold espresso notes to me. The coffee is there. It is subdued, but it's there. I can taste it. The bourbon is there. Very nice rendition of that. But I do think the espresso coffee has faded being in the bourbon barrels, and I find that probably 8 out of 10 times that's what happens when they do something with coffee and they put it in barrels for a while. And this is done in separate barrels, and they blended it all back together. So I find that, as far as blending the beer, excellent job. But as far as the coffee still being big and bold, not so much. But still a very tasty beer. Glad I got to try it. The bourbon notes are really, really prominent, guys. Now that it's warmed up, big time bourbon on the nose and on the taste. Coffee is there, but not big and bold. It may be what they wanted, guys. It may be exactly where they wanted it to be. But when it has espresso on the label, then I see that it's been barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged. I kind of figure, well, let's see how much coffee is still left in the beer, and it's there, but it's not. I wouldn't consider it espresso. So, final chug on this one. Very well done. I will say that. The alcohol, it's hard to hide. Almost 12%, 11.5%. They've done a great job at that. It would be a special occasion beer to me. Something you would pour a little bit for 2, 3, 4, 5 friends. Let them taste it just to say, I've had that. But not something I would run out and buy if I was expecting a big, bold espresso note on the beer being barrel aged. So, just me though. This is my opinion. Very tasty, very well done, very enjoyable. Brandon, see, down in Texas, thank you again, my brother. He sent me several different variations of the Hellfighter beers, and I have done some of those already, but they do several different renditions of this probably every year. So enjoyed this. Guys, to me, 92 is where I'll put this A-. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.39, which is also in their A- scale, not quite to the A scale. And over to Untapped, they have it at 4.01, also in their A- scale. It's unanimous, guys. That's where I'm going to put it. That's where everybody else is putting it. So we're all in agreement on this one. A very tasty beer, a nice dessert beer, a nice beer to share around with a couple of friends, or at least your significant other, which I did, and she enjoyed it. She liked it. But like I said, the espresso notes are a little on the subdued side, being a barrel-aged beer. So if you've had this one, they're BBH, Bourbon Barrel Hellfighter, with espresso. This is the 2017 edition. Let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.